Is your favorite way to eat a potato really baked?
Yeah.
Why?
I've only been eating it for like 5 years. I finally feel like hold on one second. Sarah, do you mind? It's a little loud. I can hear you. It's a little too much.
Dave, Lil Dicky, whatever works best for you today. Welcome to my kitchen.
Looks great. Is that Kobe?
It is. It's actually Kobe guarding Kobe. His 24 and his 8 jersey. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. There's another hoop right over your other shoulders. I mean, it's my kind of kitchen.
I should have a ball. It's a big miss to shoot hook shots with you today.
Yeah. It's okay.
All right. Honestly, before I start here, I was actually supposed to get married tomorrow, but enter COVID. It just feels like a beer day. Would you have a beer with me during this?
There's so much to unpack there, but first off, I'm honored to be spending, I guess, your wedding day with you.
My wedding. The day before, the
day before, the eve. I'm honored to be spending that with you. I have the Perrier right here that I can,
Hey, cheers, honestly, to start here. To Dave, not even to my wedding, to Dave.
To both of us.
Exactly. So, congratulations on the show. Unbelievable, becomes FX's most watched comedy. Tell me about it.
About the feelings that I have when you say those things?
Exactly that.
Happiness. I feel like I've lived my whole life like with the goal and desire to be a comedian, and I finally feel like hold on one second. Sarah, do you mind? It's a little loud. I can hear you. It's a little too much. I feel like I've lived my whole life wanting to be a comedian, and I finally have done it. Like, you know what I mean? Even though I intend on making more and more seasons, like, I don't think anything can feel better than like actually going from 0 to the 100 of having it. So it's like, I feel like even as a rapper, everything I kind of initially began rapping for as Lil Dicky was like because I wanted to be a comedian, and then the rapping took on a life of its own. But I almost feel like this is the very thing that like, forced me to rap and like it got me to really pursue my voice. So I feel like I've accomplished it.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And to ask, I did a little reading. Is it true that you sort of stumbled into rap attempting to write TV and movies?
I guess so, in the sense that, I wanted to be a comedian. I thought about, when I say comedian, it wasn't like stand-up. It was like, even though maybe one day I'm not ruling it out, but like when I envisioned myself, it was always like on a screen, if it's TV or movies or whatever. And I just wanted to get noticed for being a funny person, and I didn't know the best way to go about doing it. And it felt like writing something in a script, and like that can only show you so much. And then also like, who do I even hand that script to? So I wanted to do something where I could like create content myself and like actually publish it and put it out to the world, because with YouTube, like the cream can rise. So I thought, I can rap a little bit. Why don't I try this? And I just got better and better at rapping to the point where I became like a very legit, where now I feel like I'm one of the best rappers in the world. That's how I feel. And I've always loved rap, but it's like the equivalent of like me wanting to be in the NBA, and somehow
me as well.
It's like it's the luckiest thing in the world.
Is writing an album harder than writing a TV show?
Writing an album takes a lot longer. I don't know. I think it is harder for me, because I think we wrote a TV show, and it was the first time I ever did it, and it worked out really well immediately. Whereas like I've been working on music for like 8 years, and I'm still like not really like satisfied with like a body of work I've ever put out. You know what I mean? So I think, but I also work with more people writing a TV show than I do. So it's like I have more help with the TV show than I do music, I think.
Absolutely. And speaking of more help, more people around on the show, I was amazed. I mean, I read the reviews, watched it all, and let me just jump in there. My fiance is an absolute fall asleep during TV show type person, and she stayed up for every one of your episodes. So you should go to sleep knowing that tonight. That should help you a lot.
Great.
But again, coming back to the celebrities, you had Bieber, you had Kourt Kardashian. Was there anyone you asked that they were just like, nah, or you couldn't get a hold of them that you really wanted to be on the show?
Not really. Like, we kind of got such an unbelievable group of people together. Like, even like my wildest dreams, like Young Thug is like I wouldn't have believed it possible, honestly, if you told me. And he was so pie in the sky. I mean, I'm such a big Young Thug fan. I'd never met him. I didn't even know if he knew about who I even was. So like when I heard that he was in fact coming, I didn't even believe it. Honestly, I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And then when I saw his like car pull up, I was like, holy moly. And like the happiest I think I've ever been in my life was like the day Young Thug came, because I just felt like I made it.
And he didn't even come. He played like a vital role in the show, the upcoming of it.
Yeah, and he brought Gunna with him, and I didn't even know that was going to happen. So it was like a total 2-for-1 situation.
That scene in the studio, it hurt me. I enjoyed it. I had all the emotions filming something like that. What is that like, just with everyone around? You know, they're high profile rappers. Is it fun? I mean, that's what you are today. So is it nerve wracking?
Yeah. It's more nerve wracking than like if they weren't there, because I just like want them to have a good experience and want them to feel happy and like comfortable. So it's like no one that came and worked in the show is difficult. You know what I mean? Like everyone was like totally game, and there wasn't many stressful situations involving these like cameos. It was more just me as a human being, like wanting to make sure that they were happy, which is just an extra thing to think about.
Is there anyone that we should be looking forward to in season 2 that wasn't in season 1, celebrity wise, we can get excited about?
Well, we just started writing season 2 2 days ago. Like we're literally like in day 3 of the writer's room. So there's certainly conversations. And I'll tell you one thing, the sky is the limit in terms like the people that have reached out to me that have said like, man, put me in season 2. I don't even want to name names, but it's like, there's just like no like more interesting people in the world to me than like the people that I'm talking with. So as great as season 1 was in that regard, season 2 should be even more spectacular. But I also don't want to like make it turn into the show that's all about celebrity cam. It's like, you know, it's got to be done in the right way.
Come on, tease one for me. Who are you talking to? Who's in that
first
inbox?
off, I couldn't possibly because it's like none of it's written. I don't know. I couldn't say like, oh, X, Y, and I couldn't say like LeBron James is in it, you know, because we haven't written it yet. But has LeBron James tweeted about my show? Yeah. So have I exchanged, conversation with LeBron? Yeah. But we got to figure out what's the narrative arc, and I haven't even asked him to be in the show, but I'm sure one day I will.
That's a no big deal name drop with LeBron there.
I thought I knew what happiness was before LeBron tweeted about the show, and then I realized in that moment I didn't even understand happiness, and that happiness is really only comes when LeBron tweets about you.
In a game of 11, could you score one basket against LeBron?
No.
21? Could you get one?
Not if he was actually, trying.
Totally fair.
I'm being realistic about it.
So let's stay basketball. You perfect pivot there. Your song "Sports" is, in my opinion, the most underrated song of all time. More importantly, the jerseys that you just trot out in there is unbelievable. Do you have a favorite jersey that you could just wear every day, no wash? You're cool with it?
Man, I'll just name the ones that are popping into my head, because I don't know that I know the answer, but like the things that are shooting into my head are Bo Jackson, like powdered blue Royals, Wayne Gretzky, White Kings. I've got like a Kelly Green, Ricky Waters signed Eagles jersey that I love.
That Jason Williams jersey, that pulled at my heartstrings.
Yeah. Penny Hardaway, Magic, pinstripes. Babe Ruth, Yankees. It's like no one's wearing the Babe Ruth jersey.
No, except for you.
Yeah.
Staying in basketball though, thoughts on this season coming back? Thoughts? You have a title favorite?
I'm a Sixers fan, so I mean I don't know what to expect. If they come back and they really do it, I hope it's like a situation where nobody's like, man, this doesn't count. I hope it's like real or it doesn't happen. Because really all it kind of takes is like someone like Giannis to get corona and then the whole season's invalidated. So I still believe in the Sixers. I think they're going to come out of the East.
They got to complete that process, man. It's taken way too long.
It's a long process.
It just continues to get longer.
Just trust it.
I'm trying so hard. I'm a Lakers fan, so I don't mean to like ruin anything here, but it is taking quite a bit. You're a Sixers fan, Eagles fan, tried and true. A couple of weeks ago, John Oliver actually referred to Philadelphia sports fans as a horde of inhuman monsters. Do you have any thoughts there?
I think Philadelphia sports fans are like incredibly educated about the sport and they just care a lot. I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fan. I'm not a monster, so it just depends on the fan. But I love our fan base. I remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the game was in Minnesota, and I turned down free tickets to go to the game in Minnesota, to go back to Philly and watch with all my high school friends. And then when they won, we like went out into the street, and it was just like such a great, Philadelphia sports fans that night. I like the feeling that everyone, there's nothing better.
And we flew into Philadelphia at about 7 a.m. that next day, and I will never forget seeing how empty the streets were. Like, it was unbelievable. The streets were already hungover. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Did you play a lot of sports growing up?
I did. I only played for the actual high school. I played tennis. I was the tennis captain, but I didn't play basketball for my high school. I didn't try out, but we had a really good high school team. It would have been hard, and I just didn't really want to go through all of it to just maybe just possibly be the 12th man, but I played basketball in my Jewish rec league and won several MVPs, was a pretty dominant force, offensively. 2 MVPs, 3 championships, game-winning shots, really storied career as a Jewish rec league basketball player.
Nobody's counting at all, except maybe Dave.
Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned, the dream was to be a comic. So obviously you're Dave. Lil Dicky is the rapper. Is this like a Nicki Minaj alter ego situation where you're going to start doing stand-up? Are we going to get a new stage name there?
No. Well, if I did stand-up, it would be Dave Bird doing a stand-up. No, you know what? I love Lil Dicky. I love being a rapper. I'm not going to stop rapping just because I'm a successful comedian. But I can't lie and say that I'm not happy with the interactions when I walk by someone now. They go, Dave, as opposed to Dicky. I just feel like I relate so much more to Dave. I've been Dave my whole life. Lil Dicky has only existed for 7 years. Before the show came out, I was getting approached at a level that wasn't warranted in terms of the success I have. I just think because I guess I don't know. I feel like I look like every other Jewish guy, but I guess people notice me. But I think the difference is when they see me, every time they act on that, as opposed to if I saw Diddy, I would be like, oh my God, it's Diddy. And I would just leave it at that and be too scared to approach him. I think I'm approachable. So yeah, I don't know. I truthfully, I haven't been outside that much. I don't know how much the show has affected my day-to-day life. But I'll tell you one thing. In the few times where I've walked to the corner store and someone says, Dave, I think, A, I'm happy that they're not saying Lil Dicky, because it's just kind of a ridiculous thing to call someone. But B, I just have I just know that whoever's calling me knows me much better than they ever could know me at just through my music. I think the show really contextualizes who I am.
It was very fun to watch because I've been a Lil Dicky fan for a very long time. My best friend turned me on to you. You actually performed in the basement of one of my apartment buildings in Philadelphia. Maybe back in 2015, Underground Arts. Yeah. We tried to definitely sneak down, but one of your bouncers was definitely not having it. But yeah, I've followed for so long, and the show just made me realize who you were outside of the rapping. It taught me your story, and I just thought that was neat. And do you think your show will intrigue other rappers or even celebrities outside of rap to sort of do the same thing?
I don't know. I wonder. I'll tell whoever's trying to do it good luck, because it's not easy to do. I think I'm born to do this. I think there's no, I feel like it's my chosen craft is making filmed comedic content. You know what I mean? So
staying on your real life, is your favorite way to eat a potato really baked?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't know I've only been eating it for 5 years. I just love the baked potato. I don't know. I feel it's, even if it's not, I feel healthier eating a baked potato than I do a French fry. And there's just something so hearty and just I love the texture with the sour cream and the cheese. I just love the texture.
I was gonna say, what's the topping? What's the toppings of choice that you go with?
Butter, sour cream, cheese, and maybe chives, but I don't do bacon on it. I feel like when bacon is in bit form, it really it's bacon really, I like bacon in strip form by itself, but when it's a part of something else, I think it overtakes the dish and it just tastes like bacon whenever you're eating. So
what would your final meal be if you're a very picky eater?
it's a meal my mom makes called company chicken and company noodles. It's just like, it was in the show, actually. It's a breaded chicken dish and a cream-based pasta. Whenever company would come, she would make it.
That's when you guys are all sitting around the table.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'd love for you to tell me a little bit more about working with Jeff Schaffer. I did a deep dive on him, and he's done some of my favorites. You've got The League, you've got Eurotrip, and his wife worked on Old School, one of my favorites. You guys just seem to be built for each other, a comedy collaboration we never knew we needed. Is that the truth?
We just have such a great working relationship. We have this, he's obviously hilarious. He's such a genius, honestly. And we could never make the show without him. And I think he would say the exact same thing about me.
So I've got a coworker, her name's Allie, and she actually went to Camp Quebec with you, not Lebec. Know the show, the differences. She mentioned you. Can you give us a bird bomb?
Okay. So, back when I went to camp, it was like the Harry Potter was the biggest thing. And the books would it'd come out, everybody in camp would get a copy of it, and then everyone will have read it within 5 days. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The talent show at my camp happened a day after everyone had the Harry Potter book. And one thing I did, which is very at a young age, I think Andy Kaufman-esque of me, is I went on stage and I pretended, I just walked up there and I sat down, I crossed my legs and I pulled out the book, and then I just opened it, flipped to the last page, and I started reading the ending of Harry Potter in front of the whole camp. But I faked it because I didn't want to really give away what happens. I'm not that mean. But children were crying. They were like, no! There was tears, and it was I thought it was a really good moment for my comedy career.
All the while just ruining the days of all of your fellow
But
campers.
I lied. I didn't tell them what really happened.
It's totally fair. So am I. We're all good people, right?
No. Well.
Agreed. Is there, drop the bird bomb. I appreciate it. Didn't know if you would. Is there anything that the mainstream media doesn't know about you? For example, I've not seen any of the classics. I've not seen Scarface. I've not seen any movies like that. Is there anything weird about you that people may not know?
There's so many things, but I've never eaten a cherry.
What?
Yeah. In fact, there's so many different fruits and vegetables I could name that I've never even taken one single bite of.
Is it a pit thing with the cherries?
I think it's just it's a texture thing overall. I definitely have some sort of issue. I should be able to bite into a cherry. I'm an adult, but I just know how slick and gushy it looks, and I'm just not interested.
Well, Dave, Lil Dicky, however it may be, I super appreciate you hanging out in my kitchen today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. 3:00 there, a lot to accomplish in your house. But otherwise, thank you for stopping by, man. It's been a great time.
Hey, thanks for having me. Be safe, and I appreciate your appreciation of the show. And go Eagles, right?
Oh, go Birds. Are you really not gonna? You're gonna say go Eagles and not Sco Birds?
No, I'm an old school guy. I'm a go Eagles type of guy.
Totally.
Although I saw the new thing today about when they're not going to be able to play unless they have the bubble, but we'll talk about that next time.
Let's leave bad news for down the road.
Yeah. It's great to meet you, man.
You as well. Have a great rest of your day, Dave.
You too. Bye.
We got Lil Dicky in here.
I'm Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky.
Call me Dave. I'm a once-in-a-generation artist who just got verified on Twitter.
I'm glad you feel good that a robot told you you're worth it.
Do you believe in me as a rapper?
Testing. All these rappers in here popping. You talking about, hi, my name is Dave. You should be like, what's up? It's Lil Dicky.
It's going to be the biggest name in hip-hop.